What is up, my friends? So guys, welcome back. Today's video is kind of a weird one, but I kind of feel like an early video because, you know, I've had the 5070 Ti for about a month, had the 9070 XT for a couple weeks now, just almost 3 weeks. So I wanted to kind of take a minute and, you know, make this video, you know, to see if I had to choose only just one right now, was so early into the generation, which one would I choose now? And then later, you know, after like 6 months or a year or further down the road, as I've had more time with these cards, I want to reevaluate it every few months or something. So we're going to start this one. You know, obviously this one here is going to feel a little bit biased, to be completely honest with you, but I'm going to try to do my very best to explain my reasoning and why it is the way it is right now. So guys, so just so you know, right now at this very moment, if I had to choose between the 5070 Ti or the 9070 XT, I would pick the 9070 XT, and I'm going to do my best to explain this right now, but you know, most of my reasoning, okay, most of my reasoning for this, I want you guys to, you know, calm down, don't freak out on me or nothing. You know, I absolutely love my 5070 Ti, but right now at this current moment, if I had to only, if I could only have one of them, if I had to get rid of one of them, I would definitely get rid of the 5070 Ti right now, and that is because I do all of my editing, I do all of my other stuff. I'm really familiar with the AMD experience right now. I know all the ins and outs of it. It's really easy for me to navigate, really easy for me to get in there. And right now the community, you know, is built basically around the AMD experience. So right now at the current time, yeah, absolutely the 9070 XT would be my 100% choice. And you know, as I've been experimenting and exploring both of these experiences, because like I've said before, dude, I'm not a freaking PC tech expert. I'm none of that stuff. I'm a consumer just like you. But as a consumer, I feel like it is, you know, I feel like that is still a valuable angle of PC gaming. Now, yeah, obviously we could jump on there and we could do like benchmarks and show you frame rates and do all of that stuff, but what information are you really getting out of that? And what I mean, like, yeah, obviously you can get like a baseline. Even I watch that kind of stuff and get a baseline for how stuff's going to perform, but you never truly know until you're deep into the experience. And right now, the experience with AMD, because of the familiarity, because of the just the overall general UI and how things are built, the user experience, when we start talking about like the Adrenaline software, those features alone, plus my editing software works very, very well with it. It actually got a boost because of the 9070 XT being more performant in those types of experiences, like for editing and for, you know, all of that stuff. The 9070 XT is actually doing better. So, and obviously, you know, the channel being kind of built, you know, around that. But I do want to be a fair content creator. I don't want to be biased, and I don't want to just sit and hate on one product to pump up another one. AMD is not perfect by any means, even though, you know, a lot of the fluff content that I do for AMD, you know, could potentially make you feel that way. I run into stuff every once in a while. It's not as dramatic as people would like you to believe that, oh man, the drivers are just garbage and all of that. To be completely honest with you, I got the 5070 Ti pretty early in this generation, and there's a lot of inconsistencies with the 5070 Ti. From the moment I got it till probably, I think the last update kind of cleared a lot of that stuff up. Now it still does kind of run a little bit rough in some games, obviously, but even the AMD card with some of these newer games that have recently been coming out, there's just been a little bit more inconsistency than I'm used to with the AMD experience, but I think it'll all get ironed out. A lot of that is obviously user freaking error, download, doing mods and stuff like that. Yeah, guys, that's why I've always told you guys, like, I'm not really into modding, but I always did tell you that when I had 2 builds that I would experiment with it more, and that is what we are doing. So we are starting to incorporate a little bit of the modding, obviously with OptiScaler to bring out FSR4 in other titles. We've been doing that as well. So when I look at what's going on right now with the experience that I've had with the AMD 9070 XT, with the with the 5070 Ti, I bought this 4K monitor. I've been testing out a lot of 4K, obviously doing some 1080p testing, obviously running it on the 3440 by 1440p. There's the absolute incredible experience. To be completely honest with you guys, my friends, I can throw it on the 3440 by 1440p, both of these cards, and they both perform very well. We're talking, average like 70-ish to 90 frames a second, just without the, without doing the upscaling or anything like that. You start turning on ray tracing, obviously, if you're using ray tracing on any card, you are going to have to use some sort of an upscaler or something like that. So I would say the overall performance of both of these experiences are very good, but right now I just really feel like if I had to choose, like, somebody walked in and was like, hey, you can only keep one, I think I would let the 5070 Ti go right now. At this point, I would probably let the 5070 Ti go and I would keep the 9070 XT, but I do want to revisit this. Maybe I'll revisit it in 3 months and we'll talk about it then, because just playing Assassin's Creed Shadows on the 5070 Ti is absolutely incredible. Like, it's a smooth experience. It feels great. Not having any crashing, any kind of bugs or anything like that. It's really good on the AMD system too. Don't get me wrong. You actually get like a higher frame rate overall on the AMD system. But yeah, for consistency's sake, for just a smoother experience out of the gate between these 2 cards. And see, it was like this with my other 5070 Ti, or my other 9070 XT, my Aorus as well. It was doing the same kind of things. So I think there might just be something that I need to fix in my software on that PC or something. I would take it out and put it in this one, but this one here's got the 12 volt pin or connector for the Nvidia proprietary thing, whereas this one over here has 8-pin connectors and stuff. So switching them out would be a little bit kind of a pain in the butt, because I just don't have the other type of, I don't have the 8-pin connectors for that one. So yeah, right now, guys, and I know this video might just be weird, or you might say, hey, this is just clickbait or whatever. This is just another AMD freaking shill video or whatever. But I mean, AMD, guys, it really did affect me overall. I guess you could literally say it was love at first sight. AMD's been there, and it's been a very, very consistent experience, to the point where it's like, I'm so blown away and so happy with the AMD experience that I was able to be like, yeah, I don't really need the Nvidia thing. Like, I don't really, it's not that big of it. Like, it is not affecting me in a way that, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to have ray tracing in Nvidia. No, it's just been such a good experience on the AMD Radeon, the AMD Radeon experience, that I'm just like, wow, this is incredible. And I hope you guys are taking a shot every time I say experience. I really hope you are. Or at least like plucking an eyebrow, or start plucking your eyebrows every time I say experience. So that would, let's see how many eyebrows you have after. But yeah, guys, the 5070 Ti, I want to, in all fairness, I want to take a minute and talk about this, because the 5070 Ti, aside from, the stupid nonsense that, let's face it, I'm going to ignore that and kind of overlook that kind of stuff. It's only fair, because I would do that for the AMD stuff that doesn't negatively affect my overall experience. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Like I'm not going to. We all know that both these GPUs are going to have those little things that we could easily point out, nitpick, and make a big deal out of, but we're not going to do that. We're doing something different. We're going to treat both experiences as they deserve to be treated. Now, you know, the Nvidia experience with the 5070 Ti, guys, has been absolutely incredible. Like, I don't have anything really negative to say about this experience. I feel like the price of the card that I paid was okay. I feel good about that. I feel like the overall performance level of everything that I've played on it so far, I've been satisfied with that. It's as good as I thought it was going to be. The build quality of the Asus card, I absolutely love it. I think it's incredible. I got the Asus Prime OC, and I feel like the card's good. So overall, you know, the software wise, the new Nvidia app is actually doing pretty good. I'm actually liking that. I'm playing around with that. The overall, you know, ray tracing performance from the 5070 Ti is good. It's definitely good. DLSS 4 is absolutely freaking beautiful. So, and frame generation, guys, multi-frame rate generation is actually a usable feature that you can use to enhance the experience of your games. Now, I play a lot of single player games, so that makes sense for me that, you know, and I'm using a controller most of the time, so I'm not getting that negative, I'm not experiencing the negative consequences of utilizing something like frame generation because I'm not feeling the latency. It's feeling like a 60 FPS plus experience, and the overall screen stability, and that's what I'm going to call it, screen stability, from using multi-frame rate generation or AMD's fluid motion frames or AMD's frame generation. I'm at a point now, guys, where I'm starting to get used to it. Like, I'm starting to get used to it. I'm starting to, you know, my eye-hand coordination is working pretty good with that. Muscle memory, obviously, you're going to have to, you know, readjust your muscle memory. It's almost like going from, I would liken using frame generation from going from like a really high refresh PC experience to not necessarily console level, because it definitely feels better than a console still. Like it feels incredible playing freaking Assassin's Creed Shadows. I actually played like 2.5 hours on the PS5 Pro last night. I'm going to upload that video tonight for you guys so that you guys can watch the PS5 Pro stuff. But playing through that on the PS5 Pro, even going from the 5070 Ti utilizing frame generation DLSS 4 back down to the PS5 Pro, that's kind of the way it would feel going from like a really high-end PC where you're getting like native, you know, high refresh down to, you know, we're just using console experience just for the analogy, or just for the comparison's sake, but that's kind of what it feels like. It just feels like you're just kind of, it's not negatively affecting the experience. It is enhancing the experience, because at native frame rate, we would be sub 60 frames a second sometimes, or just over 60. So being able to boost that higher and get that screen clarity is significantly, it's important. It improves the experience. Pluck. So yeah, so it's fun, guys. Like, I'm really enjoying this. Like I said in the beginning of the video, yes, I would absolutely take the 9070 XT right now, but we will revisit this. We'll revisit this. The more games that come out, and because I'm going to play some on AMD, I'm going to play some on Nvidia, play some on the PlayStation 5 Pro, stuff like that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna keep the console in here, you know, the highest performing console in this like little trio and stuff, so that we can have an accurate kind of like gauging, you know, like, I mean, I guess we can look at numbers and stuff like that too, like going forward or whatever. But I don't play games with a frame rate counter on. Okay, it's all about sight. It's all about feel. It's all about experience. Pluck. So when I make the content for this kind of stuff, guys, I know there's people out there that want to see it, but for the purposes of this channel and for the purposes of the content that we're making going forward, there are some things that it will be relevant, but for the most part, I don't know if it's as relevant as, yeah, dude, I don't know. I know that it's like the thing, you get the new thing and you want to see how good the new thing is and you want to try to, you know what I mean? But I don't necessarily think it matters, because All right, let me tell you why. I don't necessarily think it matters or is as important as it used to be pre DLSS, pre frame generation, pre all of that. We are post these technologies, so I just don't think it matters anymore. Like, yeah, obviously you could turn it on, but it's like it's not even a real frame rate anymore. So I don't necessarily know if that is a relevant metric or standard to go forward on, especially when we're talking about the experience. Plug. Especially when we're talking about the experience. Plug. Because we're in a different realm now. We want to know, how does the game feel? How does it play? You know, what is that overall, what does that overall feeling feel like? Does it feel good? Does it look good? Is it an incredible experience? Does it enhance the game that I'm playing at the particular moment in time? Or, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just don't think it's as relevant as it used to be. Obviously, these two cards perform so similarly that I don't know. I want to be able to, you know, make these videos and have some gameplay footage and have you guys watching the gameplay footage and stuff so that you guys can kind of say, I don't know. This is a little bit different content because I'm trying to be positive going forward about both brands and trying to, you know, just, you know, bring you the content that I see. I want to be able to make positive content with both brands and both PCs and stuff like that. So I don't know how to do this. I'm still experimenting with some ideas and stuff like that to try to, you know, because I want to cover more games, but I also want to cover this stuff at the same time. Like, I don't know. I'm going to really try to do some VR stuff this weekend on both PCs. I got everything loaded up on the AMD build. I got to get everything loaded up on the 5070 Ti so we can do some so I can try to do some VR testing. But this stuff just takes a lot of time, guys. It really just takes a lot of time. Getting VR all set up and stuff is already a freaking hassle. So I don't do it a lot anymore. Unless I'm plugging it into the PS5 Pro and jumping on some Gran Turismo. VR is kind of a pain in the butt on the PC. It just always has been. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. Froggy out.